Hi guys, you might remember seeing this in one of my previous videos. It's what do you call it, a digger or I don't know, whatever. When I got it, it's one of those ones that has about 5 channels I think on the controller, because it's forwards, backwards on here, steering, and then we got the lifting mechanism for the what do you call that bit? Plastic wheels, hard plastic wheels. Anyway, I did find a controller that does actually control it. Initially I couldn't find one out of my stock of controllers, but the one I have for my RC Robot Wars Shunt has the same number of controls on it. It has forwards, backwards, left, right, and on Shunt it's got a hammer thing or a spiky thing that you're supposed to hit things with, which would be the same thing as would control the up down on here. Anyway, regardless of all that, what I did find was there is a gear missing down here underneath this gearbox. So even if I got the controller working, it still wouldn't run forwards and backwards because there's nothing to make the connection between the gearbox and the axle. So I'll have another look now and just see if it's anything I can possibly 3D print. I'm not sure if, well, we'll have a look. I'll take it apart and have a look. Yes, this is the problem, and I don't know how we get around it. There's something missing here, because that's the gear that sticks out the bottom of the gearbox, but it doesn't meet up with that. There's something missing, and now I've taken it apart again I realise why I gave up on the idea, because I can't imagine what it is that's missing. Yeah. I mean, these, if I just turn that, that's a differential gearbox. So we can turn this side, and we can turn this side, and then there should be something in the middle. Little, they are actually angled gears, so yeah, there should be something in the middle there that links to them, that then links onto that thing. Planetary gear system, but whatever I do, it'll be a complete guess. Yeah, I might have to abandon this again. I'll have a think. Yeah, I think we're going to be totally out of luck here. For a start, to get this central bit out, we need to get the wheels off, because it looks like that's a centre shaft that somehow or other let's reposition the camera. Right, that one turns. Yeah, I think we've got that centre piece there, that sort of square shaped piece. I think that's what remains of the gear that used to be there. And that was moulded straight onto the plastic central axle that goes through the insides of these axles and must be screwed in the outside or something, either screwed or... I mean, there's no obvious screws on here. I don't know whether that will come off. Oh, that did sort of move. Don't know if that will come off or not, or whether that's... No, it doesn't want to come off. I think that piece there is moulded straight onto the end of the shaft that's on. There's probably some sort of ridges or bevels or knurling effect that holds it on. I expect I could try brute force and try and pull it apart, but either way I think the gear was actually directly moulded onto there. I don't know, I'm looking at it. No, that looks like that might be a slot for, if the gear comes from this side and goes that way, it could slot onto it. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so I think that gear looks something like this sketch that I've done here. So you've got the main gear, and then set into it you've got these two, I don't know what we call them, beveled gears. And those beveled gears are the ones that would link up with that and that. So as this goes around, those beveled gears link up with them, and it's differential so that if one wheel isn't turning, the other one can still turn. So end on it looks something like that. That's the teeth of that gear, and then you've got this bevel effect, bevel gears that must be pivoted, or you must have a spindle on them of some sort that allows them to turn in the middle there. Got a shadow, haven't we? Yeah. But it would be absolute guesswork trying to guess how it fits together. I mean, looking at that now, I do think those possibly go into those slots that we can see there, and then there'll be some sort of a square section there in the middle of the gear. So it slots over there, but unless I can actually get these apart, there's no way of replacing that. Well, brute force wins the day again. So that goes in there, and that hexagonal bit there actually matches the inside of that wheel just there. That was the bit that was on that bit of knurling there, and it wasn't too hard to pull off. That was a fairly gentle pull. And then we got this piece, which is the bit we were looking for. I'm trying to work out whether that's broken. Yeah, I think it is broken. Now I'm looking at it, I have no idea if that's in focus. But that's the centre of the gear that is broken. Well, that's food for thought, isn't it? Can we do anything with that? If I hold the gearbox back in place and position the camera so you might be able to see what I'm trying to do. If I measure in, That's given me 15 millimeters. If I take this edge to be the center line of the gears of the axle, which I think it is, then that tells us the gear that's missing is probably 30 millimeters in diameter. So I might just see if I can make up a 30 millimeter diameter gear as a test piece, just to sit in the middle, and then if that works, then we consider whether we can make the bevel gears to match it. This is a little bit more than I'm capable of, but we'll give it a go. This is going to be a long project. Thanks for watching. You'll find more information down in the video description. You might like to watch that video up there, and you might like to subscribe over there.